chosen one. Lock your attention on this message right now. That quiet voice in the back of your mind telling you to keep scrolling. Silence it. Do not negotiate with it. Do not entertain it. What you are hearing right now is not random. It is not accidental. It is not for everyone. It was meant for you. There is a reason the pressure feels heavier today. There is a reason your thoughts have been louder, your energy lower, your spirit more aware of something shifting beneath the surface. The enemy is working overtime right now for one reason, and one reason only. He knows what is about to break, loose in your life. He knows this moment matters. He knows this message only needs to land once. And if you miss it, he buys himself more time. But everything changes after this. That confusion you have been carrying, that stagnation, that feeling like you've been running in place for months without moving forward, none of it is random. None of it is permanent. And most importantly, none of it is proof that you failed. It is evidence that something is ending. But before we go any further, you need to understand this clearly. The shift that is coming into your life is not based on luck. It is not based on timing alone. It is not based on coincidence. It is coming because of what you have already done. Think back carefully. There was a moment this week, very specific, where everything inside of you wanted to react. You wanted to defend yourself. You wanted to speak. You wanted to prove your point. You wanted to correct what was wrong. And you didn't. You held back. You went quiet. You let it go, even though it cost you something. And afterward, you questioned yourself. You wondered if you were weak. You wondered if you missed your moment. You wondered if your silence made you lose. But what you didn't see, what you couldn't see, is what actually happened in that moment. You signed something. You triggered something. You shifted something in the unseen. That noise never could have moved. That moment wasn't passive. It was decisive. It was strategic. It was final. You didn't stumble onto this message. You didn't randomly land here. This is not an algorithm coincidence. This is alignment. You are not scrolling. You are standing at a threshold. And if you leave now, you leave before the verdict is read. Because in the next few moments, something is going to become clear that changes how you see everything. Your past few days, your last few months, even the years behind you. Because what you have been calling delay was not delay. It was protection. And what you have been calling silence was not absence. It was preparation. Let's talk about the last 72 hours. They didn't just feel difficult. They felt strange, heavy in a way that didn't make sense, like pressure without a source. Maybe you woke up in the middle of the night staring at the ceiling, not anxious about anything specific, but unable to rest. Maybe you were doing something ordinary, making tea, driving, sitting quietly, and suddenly felt exhausted in a way that didn't match your day. Not physical exhaustion, something deeper, something heavier. Like your soul was carrying weight your mind couldn't explain. That feeling, that pressure, that tension. It wasn't punishment. It wasn't failure. It was finality. You are not in a cycle. You are at the end of one. But the enemy needs you to believe otherwise. Because if he can convince you that you are going in circles, he can drain the strength you need for the final step. He keeps replaying a moment in your mind, a decision, a mistake, a situation where you think you got it wrong. And he whispers, you disqualified yourself. You delayed it. You ruined it. But that is not truth. That is strategy, because the truth is this: you didn't ruin anything. You completed it. That moment you keep questioning, that restraint, that silence, that release, that was the move that ended it. You didn't lose control. You gained authority. You didn't step back. You stepped out of a pattern. And breaking a pattern is more powerful than winning an argument, because patterns are where cycles live. And you interrupted one. That's why things feel different now. That's why the air feels heavier. That's why your spirit feels stretched, because something has reached its limit. And when something reaches its limit, it breaks. Now listen carefully. The enemy is not afraid of your noise. He's not afraid of your reactions. He's not afraid of your emotional responses. He understands those. He can predict those. What he cannot counter is your stillness. Not passivity. Stillness. There is a difference. Passivity is giving up. Stillness is trusting. Passivity is surrendering to defeat. Stillness is surrendering control. And when you chose stillness, you took the battle out of his hands. You shifted it into a realm where he has no authority. That's why this moment matters so much, because now we get to the part most people avoid. You've been waiting for confirmation, waiting for a sign, waiting for clarity, waiting for someone else to see in you what you feel inside. And it sounds wise, it sounds careful, it sounds spiritual. But underneath it, if you're honest, it's fear. Fear dressed as patience, because the confirmation you're waiting for is not coming the way you expect. Not because you're wrong, but because you're ready. And readiness doesn't get confirmation first. It gets movement first. Clarity comes after obedience, not before. Every breakthrough story follows that pattern. Move first. Understand later. Step first. See later. And this is where everything shifts. Because the real reason you've been hesitating isn't lack of signs. It's an agreement. At some point in your life, someone spoke something over you that was never meant to define you. And you believed it. Not fully, not consciously, but enough to let it sit in your identity. And now, even as you grow, even as you evolve, even as you feel the pull forward, that voice is still there, quiet, subtle, but influential. And it's been holding you at the threshold, not because you're not ready, but because you haven't revoked it. So this is the moment, not tomorrow, not later. Now, you break the agreement, not emotionally, not vaguely, but intentionally. You take back the authority you gave away, and you replace that voice with truth. Because once that agreement breaks, nothing holds you back. And here is the truth that changes everything. The delay was never defeat. It was design, every closed door, protection, every ending, alignment, every quiet season, construction. God wasn't withholding. He was building capacity. Wasn't delaying. He was securing your future. And now the container is ready. Now the season has shifted. Now the only thing left is your agreement, not perfection, not certainty, not proof, just agreement. Agreement that what was spoken over your life is true. Agreement that you are ready. Agreement that you don't need more time. And when that agreement locks in, everything moves. So place your hand on your heart and say it clearly. I release every false agreement. I cancel every limiting voice. I break every cycle that tried to hold me back. I am not behind. I am not disqualified. I am not forgotten. I am chosen. I'm ready, and I move now. Not later. Not when it feels safe. Not when it makes sense. But now, because what was promised is not coming. It is here, and I step into it today.